going on? I'm Cedric Maybank.
And I'm Monica Maybank.
We are the Maybanks. So we're going to give you a little background on us. Monica and I got married within a year after I buried my late wife who transitioned from cancer. It's really a story about God restoring things that were taken away. So what we're going to do here is ask each other some questions. I'll be asking her questions today. Got her on the spot, on the hot seat. Some real provoking questions that people might not want to share or be transparent with when they go through the loss of a spouse. Let it be a husband being a widow or a woman being a widow. Either way, there's a lot of things that you have to deal with day to day that you just don't share with people, or they just are scared to ask. So we've been sharing that stuff in different videos shortly here. And this is the next video we're showing information within it. So I'm gonna hit you with these questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. So Monica, what made you decide you wanted to get married at the age you are now instead of younger?
Well, what age am I now? So I'm in my 40s now, 44 to be exact. And I wanted to get married probably since I was a young woman in my 20s, but I didn't have the right frame of mind when it came to marriage. And so I had a lot of interesting dating experiences and ended up in a lot of toxic relationships, which I talk about in my book, The Single Woman's Blueprint. Um, but really, I have always been a hustler. And so I've always looked to strive and achieve more and like to outperform and to see how far I can, succeed in life. And so most of my life was about like achieving the next accomplishment, whether it was pledging a sorority or earning my master's degree. And then I ended up earning my doctorate degree. And then, really working in the area of federal policy in Washington, D.C. And so I really was always striving for more and more and more. But I really didn't sit down enough to focus on like family and legacy like I should have. And so there are a number of things that I would have done different as a mom, and there are things that I would have done different in my dating life. But it wasn't until I was about 41 that God really sat me down. It was actually April of 2021. And God set me down and was basically like, you've done all of these things, set all of these goals for every other area of your life but marriage. And it really shook me because there was a long season of me being single and celibate, 12 years to be exact, before you and I got married.
How many years you say so?
12 years a slave. A slave to Christ.
There you go.
But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So anyway, it was April 2021. God set me down and he said, I want you to take 12 years to prepare, 12 months to prepare for marriage, like Esther. And so I'm sure many of you have read the book of Esther, where she took 12 months to prepare for her king. And God set me down and said, I want you to take 12 months to prepare for your king. And this is my king sitting right next to me. And so some of the things that I did during that 12 months of preparation were some of the same things that Esther did.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Like what?
Beauty treatments.
Okay.
So Esther, she gave herself regular beauty treatments, or she was required to have regular beauty treatments. And so I did things like just made sure that I was taking care of my nails and getting a pedicure, every now and again, getting a full body massage at this amazing place in Virginia where I lived at the time.
Really? So hold on. You mean to tell me if a woman's not married, she's supposed to still take care of herself?
Yes.
I know that sounds corny and cheesy.
Yes.
So
yes.
What did your friends doing the same thing that are single?
Good question.
Were they taking care of themselves?
That's a good question. From my knowledge, yes, they were. But I don't know if it was only them. I maybe some of my friends got treated to that stuff, but it was God treating me, right? And so I wasn't looking for a man to pay for my nails or to take me to the spa.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, like, have the mindset to keep yourself up because your husband could be around the corner.
I had the mindset to keep myself up. So beauty treatments was one of the things that I incorporated, but the most important things were reading a book every month on marriage.
She read a book every month on marriage.
Reading a new book every month on marriage.
That's good.
And there are amazing books that I read, and I'll probably add those in the comments so that you guys can take a look at them. Fasting and praying, sowing into somebody else's marriage. Through fasting and prayer, which was a big component of my journey towards marriage.
Don't go fast over the fasting. I didn't mean to cut you off. How often did you fast? And tell us a little bit about your fasting, because this is something that people can use. For those who haven't read your book yet, I just want to,
I don't talk about this part in my book, but I fasted very frequently because I live a fasted lifestyle. So probably, I don't know, every other month I fasted. And it was different periods of time, but during that time, and when I fast, I'm reading, spending time with the Lord in the morning and at night, and not on social media because it's very noisy and distracting.
Okay. Share some more stuff you did.
So, and then I was also focused on becoming debt-free and getting rid of all of my debt. For the most part, except for the one that tried to hang in the balance, which was my student loan debt. But the majority of my other debt, I was focused on, well, how can I truly put myself in a position for me to have a compatible husband? There are a lot of women that have this high ideal of what a husband should bring to the marriage, but they're not bringing the same thing. And one thing that somebody said that was so profound is that you will marry somebody that is on the same level as you. And so it's basically not, it's becoming the person that you're looking for. And I knew that I had high expectations for my husband.
That's pause.
In terms of his spiritual devotion to Christ, his desire to put the Lord first in everything he does. And so if I wasn't doing those things, how could I expect my husband to do those things?
That's powerful.
So that is kind of the initial framing for this 12-month journey of preparing for marriage. Now, there are a lot of pieces in that I'll unpack a little bit more. The main component, though, is obedience. And obedience is the most important thing that you can do as you are a single woman who's preparing for marriage. If God tells you to do something, you better do it. One of the things that God told me early on was, I'm going to tell you to do something crazy, and I need you to listen when I say it. And one thing that God told me to do was to move one of my friends in with me. And it kind of just all came to a head at one time, and I didn't have really much time to pray or fast about this decision. But I knew that God had been prompting me in advance to do whatever he told me to do. And so when he told me to do it, it was like instantaneously obedient. But me allowing this person to move into my home is what unlocked the door to my ability to really have a deeper level of compassion and understanding for living with someone. And so it really prepared me well to be able to live with my husband, but it also unlocked the door to me meeting my husband in the 9th month of this 12-month journey.
That's great. So you didn't shack up, which is great.
No shacking up.
Yeah. So one quick question. You got 30 seconds on this question, maybe less than that. So it's been a year, right?
Yes.
Explain year
Since
one.
we've been married.
Explain year one. How was it? Give it to me in one word, and we'd expect for year two. Explain year one in one word. We'd expect for year two.
Unfathomable, I'll say, is the one word.
We'd expect the year two.
Year two, compounding.
A whole lot gonna happen in a short period of time, huh? Okay. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So I'm excited because next time we get to unpack more of your journey towards our marriage. And I just look forward to continuing to reveal more and more about the depths of what we had to die from in order to receive what God has for us. And actually on that dying point, I wrote down this note from the book of Esther, is where I wrote down, Esther was willing to die to herself to be with the king. And that's truly what I did, is I died to myself from my normal way of doing things, from, hanging out with friends and even dating people that I knew I shouldn't date. I died to those things and I surrendered so that I could be a vessel to be used for God, so that God could prepare me to be what Cedric needed as a wife.
Explain that last part, dying to yourself, for a person who's hearing that for the first time. Because sometimes we use lingo and churchisms. We think everybody knows what it means.
Churchisms.
Churchism. That's something that we heard in church. It said churchisms.
Dying to yourself is basically putting other people's needs before your own and listening to the voice of the Holy Spirit. Because it's not about how you feel. It's not about what somebody else is doing. And it's not even about relating to past experiences with God. It's about completely surrendering yourself so that whatever God tells you, you do. You're not thinking about it. You're not contemplating it. You're being obedient to what the voice of God is saying. So it's dying to your flesh and to your feelings and your own desires.
Man, that's great. See, I threw them questions and you didn't know I was going to ask you, did you?
Good questions.
Of course, we got to be transparent. That's how you help and pass things on to other people. Some people are going to remember what year one was to you, what you're expecting for year two. Maybe they haven't died to themselves, because a lot of people out there that's connected to their phone. They're connected to this thing. I'm not. Some people are, and that could be something they're going to die to themselves, because they could be blocking themselves.
Amen. Well, we hope that you got something from today's conversation, and we are praying for you, and we believe that God is going to do above and beyond you could ever wish, dream, or imagine. So God bless you until we meet again.
Love you.
Take
Peace.
care. Bye-bye.